welcome back to another renovation vlog, and I have some progress to share, and I'm also tackling a job that was not on my bingo card this week, and I think decision fatigue is starting to set in. I'm playing them, Bug. No. Bug's my little support animal at the minute. Now, a quick check-in because I did have some builders today. So a bit of progress. The last time you saw all of this, they were just freshly installed and there would have been like exposed stuff around them. We're one step closer to getting plastered and not with the pints of Guinness. Sorry, inappropriate. So yeah, the drywall. Is that drywall? I can't think of my words. But yeah, so it's all being patched in. And yeah, the plasterer is booked in for next week. So this beam has been plastered in. There was a bit of tweaking here. So the plug, I think that plug in the last video was the plug here. Not the plug, the switch. We still have the plug down there. So yeah, this will be all patched up. But yeah, it's getting tidier. So I have the weekend free of builders, which is grand. But I'm sick of cleaning. I'm sick of cleaning. So all I'm going to do is just clean the counter. Now today, I suppose, wasn't like too bad, but dust is back. But that's because a lot of patching had to be done around the window because the fitter knocked off some plaster from up here. So it all had to be, tidied up and dusted. I do have a problem with the doors because I'm always going to be honest and share the journey. So the doors, the builders copped today. Hang on, I'm going to just move my microphone. So the builders highlighted today on hinge bound, I think is the term. So if you look at the hinges, they need to be adjusted, like there's too much stress on them. So I can't reach the thing to open, but basically you really have to push this door in. And by having to push it in, it should just sit flush, but you have to push it a bit, and then that push is causing strain on the hinges. And if I was to leave it, it would, like, you can kind of see it on this hinge here. You can kind of see the stress on it. But, and the same on this side. This isn't as bad though. So, hang on, it's kind of windy outside. So you can see the way you have to then pull it in. Oh, sorry. So it has, So I didn't notice that, but my builder noticed it and he's like, nope, that needs to be fixed. So I emailed Carlson, and literally within 20 minutes, they had emailed me back to say, I sent them a video and they said, no problem, we'll send someone out to readjust the hinges. But my builder said it's just an adjustment thing, because I was like overthinking, catastrophizing, and I was like, oh no, do the doors have to like come out and be resized or whatever? And he's like, nope, it's just like a hinge tweak. So one of the other builders says it's called hinge bound. So the window is fine though. I asked them to check the window. He did say they have different hinges. So yeah, now still lots to do. Also, my step, some people were at, hopefully by the end of this video, I have steps. So when you come out, the old step, there's my old step on my old door. Isn't that mad, Dad? My little door that was there. So there's actually going to be two steps now, because here is where, so see here, that will have a step that will be the same width as, or sorry, the same level as the door. And it'll be two steps steps, 12 inches each. Apologies about the wind. Hang on, my hair is getting in the way as well. So there will be a lovely long step, 2 of them, all the way across there. So there will be a step from this height coming out, and then my second step. So yeah, someone asked like, oh no, what's going to happen here? You're going to have to like climb in every day? No. So, and also there's enough room then for the tiles to hopefully sit flush. So the tile, they allowed for the amount of space for like the material, all the stuff that you lay tile with, and then the actual tile itself. So when I get the floor done, it should sit just about on with the door frame there. This is really dusty. I'm actually going to just tape it up because I might have to, I don't want to get it too damaged. But yeah, everything is looking tidier. So obviously in the last video we had none of this. This was just open, and you know, also they have to do little things like, see my wall out there? They have to, I said I'll do that at the end. So you can see all of this here. And then my windows were lovely and clean. I'm not doing any more cleaning until we're done. But there's a couple of handprints. But they did say that they'll tape up these windows for when the plasterer comes, because that's a messy job. And a lot of the plaster work is where the doors are. So they will tape them up before they do plastering. So that's everything. More floor leveling bags were brought in today. There's Bon. The cats are now okay. Well, Bjug. Let's face it, it's been all about Bjug. Bjug is now okay with the builders. She can kind of tolerate them. Bon is fine. He came down and had food. Like, he was like, hey. So yeah, the rest of the floor needs to be finished as well. Leveling. So the hall, the other side, and then here. So the guys will be back next week. Yeah. And then I'll be able to see. I can't lay my floor until I paint. And I can't paint until the plaster is done. And then I have to wait for the plaster to dry. So another question about like paint colour. Obviously, I don't like the colour that you see right now. Everything looks very grey. Now, I know the floor is grey, but I did say in previous videos about when it came to painting, I want to warm up this space. You might see some samples on the wall. Like, I want it to be more yellow and less grey. So I am like, because the doors look, even though they're actually cream, they're looking a bit grey on camera. But I think when I warm up the room with paint, it's going to look more cream. And my cabinets are on the cool tone, and I really want to warm them up. But bon, those kitchen cabinets have been painted how many times? I reckon we've got one last paint job in them. I won't be replacing kitchen cabinets, not at this time anyway, just because, yeah, we blew the budget. we don't. This is all we got the money for. So I am going to repurpose the cabinets one last time and do a warmer colour. So that's what's happening this week. Hopefully I will have another update and more of the detailing work will be done. So yeah, plastering. I feel like it'll look a bit more done when like the plaster is in. So the job that I'm doing today is a job that I did plan on doing, but I didn't think I'd have to do it so soon. And that is removing the tile backsplash. I thought that maybe it could be salvaged for a little bit longer, but some of the tiles around the door frame and around the window had to be removed on installation because they were, you know, stopping the door from getting in. And in order to get the plaster and do all of the plaster work around the window, they needed to go. So these tiles, these are here since I moved in. So I'm not too sure. My house was not new. It was new to me when I moved in. But I don't know how long these tiles were here. And they are your typical builder friendly €1 a tile. They're probably even cheaper than that. They are your 15 by 15 centimeter white porcelain tile. So I I've only ever removed like one or two tiles off something. I've never ripped off a backsplash. I know that on some walls, if it's like a plasterboard wall, you can remove the wall basically. So you can cut around the tile and just remove the actual wall. So that's if it's like a plasterboard wall. My tiles are on a concrete wall with some plasterwork underneath. So I can't cut them out because someone once told me that trick, that instead of like popping them all off, sometimes you can just remove the backing. So there might be like a drywall or a backing board. I knew that wasn't the case with my backsplash, so I have to go in and I have to pop them off. And I just want to say, this is not a tutorial on how to pop them off. This is how I pop them off, and here's a few things I learned along the way so you don't have to make the mistakes that I did. First up, you'll see I'm in a pair of shorts. Not ideal. Something I quickly realised is the teeny tiny shards of tile are very, very sharp. So pop on some gloves, and I highly recommend wearing like full length. So full length dungarees, pair of jeans, perfect, thick fabric. I think leggings would even be too thin. So I think denims would be good, work pants. Because yeah, tiles are sharp. That sounds really obvious, but it's not until you actually go and do it. You're like, oh yeah, tile shards are actually quite sharp. You can also use a chisel. I'm using just what I have to hand. Some of my tools are kind of buried in the corner, so I have to there's like lots of bags of floor leveling stuff in front of it. So have my crowbar and my hammer, but you can also use like a chisel as well. You might even get away with like a decorator scraper, but my tiles, you will see, I know I've sped up the process, but you'll see some of the tiles I have to proper whack them to get them off. From watching some tile removal videos on YouTube, a lot of them said that it's inevitable. There's no way you're going to be able to pop off a tile perfectly. There's going to be adhesive and expect some damage. I was trying to pop them off like neat and tidy, but you'll see I kind of got a bit of a technique towards the end and I was popping them off quicker. But yes, you have to use some muscle to pop them off. Now you probably can use a tool for this. Maybe there's something you can stick onto your drill, or if you have one of those little multi-tool things, I'm sure there is a faster way to do this. But what I will say is I feel like you have more control when you're using your hands and your muscle and your strength, because especially when I'm going around things like the plugs, you can turn off the power from your mains. But yeah, it's just, I feel like I had more control when it was my hands. If I had a tool that could just hammer them all up, because I know that's what my builders used on the floor and they had them up within like an hour. They probably have a tool that could whack off all of these tiles. But if it's your first time, I feel like I felt more confident when I had control over my hands. Because I think if I was using a tool for this, I would just be afraid that I would just go straight into a plug or something. And you might be also thinking, why are you doing this and not your builders? Well, because I did share a little quick reel on Instagram and there was a couple of people going, why are you doing this? I thought the builder was doing this, but this was not on their job description. So I had asked them to obviously remove all the wall removal, open up the thing, put my steel beams in, remove the old floor. But this job was not on the description. I could definitely have asked them to add it on, but I have a couple of days in between when they're coming back. So I may as well have some fun too. So the way I see it is, why not? This is the perfect time for me to whack off a backsplash, because if I make an arse of it, at least I have builders that I can consult and be like, hey, I'm after making a balls of this. Help me. Now, when it's all down, I don't think I did too bad of a job. And also, while it's really dusty, now is actually the perfect time to do this because the place is already full of dust and mess. So if I was to do this, let's say after Christmas, when everything is lovely and tidy, I'm just making more mess. So I may as well just continue with the messing. In case you're wondering, what am I listening to while I'm breaking them down? The Venga Boys. I'm listening to the Venga Boys while I try and smash this down. I would love to know if you have any tile removal tips. Are you just someone who just goes straight in and whack them all off? Or is there any secret knacks that you have? Are you fond of a power tool? Please share in the comments below so that if anyone else is thinking of tackling this project, that they can get, a bit of inspiration and some tips. And now I have some satisfying, well, I hope it's satisfying, ASMR sped up tile removal for you to enjoy. And I must share because you always see in those fancy interior videos that they just share a snippet of the process and then you get to see the end result and it's all beautiful. But the reality is, whenever you tackle a job like this, there is mess and debris and dust to clean up. But I mean, it's kind of fun. We're enjoying the journey. Now, another job that I need to tackle here is getting off the old silicone. And this silicone, it's not actually on that long because you'll remember a couple of years ago, I got the counter changed. So if you go way back, I think this maybe, was it 2021, 2022? So the countertop that you see here is one from IKEA. And I had an old, it was like a brown countertop, remember? So yeah, I need to remove all of this silicone and that can be a bit more fiddly to remove. So I'm using a blade to scrape off as much as I can because silicone is the one thing, like you cannot silicone over silicone. And yeah, it's a bit icky, sticky. You get that residue to get off at the bottom. I find a good sharp blade and yeah, a bit of elbow grease and it will come off. And it's really satisfying when it comes off all in one go. Sometimes that doesn't happen. But yeah, I need to remove all of this silicone because yeah, then I'll have to get the surface ready for what I'm going to stick on it, which I don't know yet. Now, I have just put my kitchen kind of back together. Kind of. Oh, hang on. You're on autofocus now. So it is, yeah, I just had to put stuff back on the counter because I needed my lunch. And me and Bjorg, she's eating the ham off my sandwich. Don't worry, I left some for her. I have had my sandwich. So yeah, I managed to get this as clean as I can. So the back wall is concrete. So a lot of people, let me show you. You can kind of see it here. So this wall, because if you want to remove tiles, you can just whack off you can cut out the drywall if it's, like you don't have to chip them all off. You can cut out the drywall and just lift the whole thing off. But this is brick. I'm sorry, I just realised the microphone was turned around, so the sound would have been awful. Yeah, so you can see brick wall with a very thin plaster. There's no drywall here. There is a bit of drywall above the sink, but actually a lot of them tiles came off and didn't leave a lot of adhesive, just kind of around here. So to prep this, I don't know. Also, this was not in the job description for my builder. I asked him to remove the floor and I was going to change the tiled black backsplash, but I thought it would be like a down the road job. But when tiles had to be popped off for window installation, I was like, get them down. You know what I mean? So while it's really dusty and yeah, I just said I'll knock them all down. So this wall, the adhesive will have to be, I was actually watching YouTube videos while I was having my sandwich, and a really good one by Ron, the DIY guy, was it? He was saying how to prep walls like this. So you can put on a backer board thingy, or you can just put a skim coat on, sand the wall, because what happens is if you have uneven ridges and you go to put your tiles on, you can see some of the adhesive is popping off. So yeah, what needs to happen next with this, I think, is scrape it down with like, you know, like a big wallpaper blade thing. Scrape it down, get as much of the chunks that are loose off, and then give it a skim coat, I think. I'll ask my builder, he's back Tuesday. Actually, the plasterer is back. So I might even say to the plasterer, here, do you want cash? Skim that for me. Because it's not in his job description either. So I'll just be like, oh, here's €50. I don't think it'd be €50. I think it'd be a lot more. But if not, I'm just gonna be like, here, how do I skim this? Because it's not too bad. It's just like, see the, oh, you can't see. Can you see that? Yeah. There's a gap there for the new tile to go in. I do think I'm not gonna tile the floor. It's above my skill set. Do you know what? Everything just be so heavy. But anyway, I do think, and regular viewers will know, it was a goal of mine to tile a backsplash, and I think I've already done the hard work. So I think I'm going to tile this. When? I don't know. I'm in limbo with loads of different things. So like I can't, like I said, I can't paint until the plaster's in and it's dry, and I can't lay a floor until I paint. And I want to resand the kitchen cabinets because they need to be repainted. And oh, look, if I look exhausted, it is because I am. But it's Friday night, and you know what? I'm gonna do a before and after of me. So here's me before. I'm going to meet Greta, actually, who, if you get the newsletter, if you're signed up to the email list, you'll know Greta because she does the email newsletter and sends it out. And yeah, I'm meeting her this evening in town for like a little catch up and a few pints, and I think they're earned. So this is the before of me. I'm gonna have a shower, put my hair in the roller, and you're gonna see that I can scrub up well. Right now I feel like this scaldy wall, but hold on 2 minutes and you'll see me ready for the town. Oh, my taxi is on the way, but I just wanted to document that, you know, sometimes, well, first of all, anytime I wear this blazer, I feel like I'm a dentist or a doctor, but it is the most miserable evening tonight and I have to bring a jacket. I sound like a child who doesn't want to wear a jacket, but I have to wear a jacket. Have a little black dress underneath. Shabam. No dungarees. Just documenting the fact that I have taken my dungarees off. Don't forget to, oh, hang on. My taxi's going the wrong way. Google gets my address wrong all the time with directions. And whenever I order my chipper, they go to a different road. And I keep reporting it to Google, being like, wrong directions. Anyway, the taxi man now knows. 2 o'clock, we were ripping tiles. 7 o'clock, we're hitting the tiles. I'm going to have a well-earned pint with Greta. And I never mention or promote the newsletter enough, but we do a fortnightly newsletter. And Greta pulls it all together. I send her the bits and then she makes this lovely, pretty, aesthetic email newsletter. So if I remember, I'll put the sign up thing. You get a furniture freebie when you sign up. It's like a free furniture painting guide. Then you might get a follow-up email a week later. And then you will just get your fortnightly emails. We do not spam because I hate that stuff. And in the newsletter, we do like recent YouTube videos. So if you miss it with the YouTube algorithm and stuff, then we'll have some blog posts. And then we'll have like fun things like tool of the week, outfit of the week, plant of the week. So if I remember, I'll put a link in the description if you want to check out the newsletter. It is the most miserable night to be going out, but it's a night for sitting in a pub with a fire and Guinness and cosy. and I can give out free dental exams in my jacket. Okay, I'm gonna go, and then when I come back, I either need to patch the wall, I need to do some skim coat, or I need to start sanding the cupboards. I don't know what I'm gonna do next, because I don't think the builders are back until Tuesday. Like, I could skim coat the wall, and then the plaster could be like, oh, I would have done that for you. So I don't know. we shall see. Anyway, I'm going to have Guinness, and I'll see you soon. I'm after getting this scraper because some of this, see, is coming off. So if I was to tile over this, I'm not tiling over like a secure. Some of it is on. Oh, this is dusty. This is nasty. So yeah, I'm gonna flick off the bits that's I cannot talk. The bits that are loose. Oh, another messy job. Okay, I found a video on YouTube because I was like, there has to be an easier way. Ain't no way am I scraping all of this off. So I found a video on YouTube. Now I'm not doing it here because it was after editing me, future me found the video. And in this video, well, first of all, one lady said use a steamer, but you have to be careful because it can remove the plasterwork off the concrete. And you can see that I did that to the left. So this guy, he had a paintbrush and just used water, and he dampened all of that adhesive. He soaked it, left it for about 10 minutes, and he came back and he was able to scrape it flat. So basically by adding the water, it turned it into that sludgy kind of mix. It also meant that it was less dusty. So he scraped it off and then just put it in the bucket. So that is something I need to try, because I do want to get this as smooth as I can, because whatever I decide to do, future me it's a win-win. If I do pay someone to tile this, which I don't think I will, I've done a lot of the prep work, so it's going to be cheaper. And if I decide to do it myself, I'm getting ahead of myself, and I have the perfect smooth canvas for me to tile onto. I do have an idea for here, and if I do it, so I obviously had planned to change this, but sorry, Miss Bug wants to. Buggy, are you mooching for a cuddle? Oh, she is. Miss Buggy is mooching for a little cuddle. Obviously I did have plans to change this backsplash, but I thought I was going to be doing it later, didn't I? Big kitchen cheek, big kitchen cheek. I have found tiles, but I won't, if I use these tiles, they're far too expensive. I could not do the whole backsplash with these. They are the hand painted ones. You're gonna have to sell pictures of your toe beans to fund it. Are you okay? I'm after finding tiles. I'll put a picture on the screen. I did a Google image search on them, and I found a place in England that makes them. They're like a Delft tile. And Bug, I'm going to put you down here so you don't get in your pot. Obviously it's quite on trend at the minute to do beadboard backsplash, but I was thinking of possibly tiling this section above the cooker, and then either side going around doing the beadboard backsplash. Or I could just do like a neutral tile to match the Delft ones. So I'm not too sure. I'm gonna have a look. I currently have decision paralysis, not decision fatigue. Decision paralysis, because I have them in my shopping cart and there's like something stopping me. Yeah, like I can't commit to like paint colours or decor things at the minute. My brain is just like, oh, what if? Yeah, so it means I would just be tiling this area here. Can you see? Yeah, it would be this section, and then I'd have a piece of trim, like a nice, you know, a bit of tile trim here, in maybe brass, and then from here will be beadboard. It's just something I was thinking about, because the tiles are beautiful. They've been on my wish list, but there's absolutely no way I can afford to do the whole backsplash. And then the other option is get a blank, the back of this tile is white, so get a blank textured white tile to match the Delft ones. So it would just be the Delft ones here as a feature, and then the rest would be in the white. That's today's thought. Ain't no way I'm chiseling this all day. I'm going to, I've no builders today, so when they come I'm going to ask them, like, I'll continue chipping off the loose bits. The goal is to get all the high points off. So getting the likes of those high bits, and then you skim over it. So it's to get off all the loose flaky stuff. But yeah, I did well there. I got a big chunk of it. But the rest of it is like cemented on. I don't think it's that bad though. It's pretty bad down there. But if you're tiling over it, I don't know. Anyway, I have fatigue. I'm gonna clean this up. It's big. Oh, she's very cuddly today. My lunch is in the air fryer. I can kind of do no more. I'm stuck in limbo. And also, there's me chips in the air fryer. Having a naughty lunch. I'm stuck in limbo because I'm waiting for the builders to come back and plaster and do the radiators, but they're not going to be back until my radiators are ready. So there's a small delay on them. I also realised that it looks like this project is taking weeks, but that's just because I upload weekly on the channel and I have to edit the videos around work. So thank you for being patient with the progress. But I am at a bit of limbo now, Bjorg, aren't we? Like, I can take the cabinets off and start washing them down and getting them ready for painting, but I don't know what colour I'm painting them. I don't know what colour I'm painting them, Bjorg. No. Bjorg's my little support animal at the minute. My emotional support animal. I don't know what colour. There's too many decisions that need to be made ASAP. I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for being patient. This is the reality. Sometimes you're just waiting on things to finish so you can start on something. And for me it's plastering. I can't paint until the plaster is done. I can't lay a floor until the painting is done. And yeah, I have decision fatigue and paralysis. But at least it's sunny and it looks lovely outside. Anyway, see you in the next one.